Her hands trembled as she wiped the counter. "Why do you keep coming here?" she asked, eyes narrowing at the stranger in the tailored suit. He only smiled, the kind of smile that hid more than it revealed. No one in the small cafe knew his name, or the truth, that he was a millionaire single dad carrying a loneliness money could never fix. He always came at the same time, just past closing, when the chairs were stacked and the air smelled faintly of roasted coffee beans and rain on old pavement. Lila hated late customers, not because she disliked serving, but because she was tired in a way that coffee couldn't cure. The man in the dark suit, however, was different. He never rushed, never ordered anything but a single black coffee, never stayed long enough to finish it. Tonight was no different. She had just set down the "closed" sign when the bell jingled and he stepped in, rain clinging to his shoulders like a second skin. Without a word, he took his usual seat by the corner window. Lila sighed, but poured the coffee. "Rough day?" she asked, half expecting no reply. He met her eyes briefly. "Every day," he said softly. Something in his tone made her pause, but she didn't press. Lila had been working in that cafe for 6 years. She had scars on her hands from boiling milk, knees that ached from double shifts, and a heart still learning to beat without the man she'd once loved. Her life was small but steady. She didn't chase dreams anymore. She just kept the lights on. And yet, there was something about this stranger. His tailored suits didn't match the way he stared at his coffee, as if it held all the answers he had lost. He looked like someone who carried silence like armor. No one else in the cafe seemed to notice him. Maybe they thought he was just another businessman killing time, but Lila saw more. An emptiness in his eyes that mirrored her own. Weeks passed. Every night he came, every night the same coffee, the same quiet. Lila began to wonder who he was. Once she caught him watching a father and daughter at the next table, his jaw tightening just enough for her to notice. There was no wedding ring on his hand. She asked once, "You got family?" His answer was a faint smile. "I do. She's my world." Then he said no more. The truth, unknown to Lila, was that this man was Daniel Hayes, CEO of one of the largest tech companies in the city. He had wealth, power, influence, and none of it mattered. His wife had passed away 2 years ago, leaving him to raise their little girl alone. His days were full of boardrooms and contracts, his nights empty. Except for this cafe. This place reminded him of her. His late wife had loved small cafes, saying they made the world feel less lonely. Coming here was his way of keeping her close. One rainy night, Lila found him still there after closing. She had seen him glance at his phone all evening, brows furrowed. Finally, he spoke. "She's sick. My daughter. I don't know how to help her smile again." Lila's chest tightened. She didn't know why he was telling her this, but she understood loss. "Sometimes," she said quietly, "all they need is to know you're not going anywhere." Something shifted in his eyes, a glimmer of gratitude. "You remind me of her," he murmured. "You listen." Weeks later, the cafe was busier than usual when Daniel walked in, not in his usual suit, but in a simple sweater holding the hand of a little girl with wide brown eyes. She shyly clung to him as he led her to the counter. "This is Emma," he told Lila. "She's been wanting to meet you." The little girl handed Lila a small paper bag. Inside was a charm shaped like a coffee cup. "For you," Emma whispered. Lila smiled, warmth spreading through her in a way she hadn't felt in years. Around them, the cafe seemed to quiet, as if giving space for this moment. In time, Daniel's visits became less about coffee and more about connection. The lonely CEO and the weary barista, two strangers who found a piece of healing in each other's company. And in that small corner cafe, between the aroma of coffee and the quiet hum of life, they discovered something rare, the kind of friendship that could hold the weight of grief and still let in the light. Sometimes we pass people every day without knowing the storms they carry. Sometimes a simple act, a coffee, a conversation can be the anchor someone needs. If this story touched you, share it with someone who might need a reminder that silent kindness matters. Tell me where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories of quiet strength and unseen battles.